Hey everybody, how you doing? Thank you for watching Guns and Blammo. Please enjoy this gun movie review. For more gun movie reviews, please go to our YouTube station. Like, share, subscribe, and comment on what you think should be the top 10 gun movies of all time. Number 1. John Wick 2. Never bring a knife to a gunfight unless you're John Wick and you can just bring a pencil. Keanu Reeves continues his killing spree in John Wick 2 and seeks advice from his old friend Morpheus, just to realize he's raising pigeons and smoking crack instead. John Wick continues to pile up more bodies than Thanos, just for Thanos' sake. I hope when he snapped, he didn't kill his dog. Alright, I had a really tough time putting this one in front of John Wick 1. I like the originals that start it all off and get it moving great. Also, part of my problem with this one is when we started getting a little too customized with our Terran tactical gear. I like it where I can just point out the gun, know it's somewhere online, I can go buy it, as opposed to some specialized custom weapon. I make the customized special weapons myself. I prefer to do that. I like to know a product and a name and apply it to what the history of the gun is.
Break yourself, fool!
That being said, this movie's nuts. I mean, top to bottom, it took everything that we loved from John Wick 1 in terms of the action and amped it up pretty significantly. John Wick 1 had a better story. I like it more, just like Star Wars A New Hope was a little bit slower and it came together to bring the whole story up to a high level. But John Wick 2, just like Empire Strikes Back, catapulted that and did a little bit more to make it a little bit more intense. Outside of the guns, I really liked the world building in the movie, and taking us outside of just the realm of a single assassin for a Russian mobster to a world of assassins that we kind of knew was creeping in there in the background in the first one, but we really didn't know what it meant. And it still didn't give us too much and gave us just enough to make it more interesting. So world building for me in movies is pretty significant. And the coolest part is the world building in this movie is gun related. It is almost, it's strictly associated with guns and violence and assassins, which makes it even cooler moving forward. So needless to say, the pretty interesting scene that comes up in this movie where there's the most gun aspects is when he's preparing to enter that party. God, I forget what they call the guy who's giving him all the guns. The sommelier, I believe, the tall guy with the giant, pen in there. So when he's going through everything, he doesn't mention Glock exactly. These are the ones that are Terran Tactical pimped out Glocks. This is the Austrian model. He had a Glock 36 and a Glock 26, I believe, are the ones that he utilized. And those were his handguns that he utilized during those scenes. He also took the Benelli M4 Super 90 shotgun, which I've shot that gun once, and it was just amazing. That's the shotgun that he carries into the sewers when he's leaving. So a higher-end shotgun in the first film being the Kel-Tec KSG-12. What other guns did he have in this? I believe it was also, I think, a pimped-out Terran Tactical one. That was his AR that he uses in that scene. It was a TR1 built mostly of Bravo Company parts. It had a compensator on it. They said it was an 11.5-inch barrel, which would make sense with a CQB type of stance where he's running around in sewers and you want a shorter barrel. But from what I understand, that barrel was actually 14.5 inches on the gun that was actually utilized in the movie. But it makes sense that when they're describing it, it being 11.5 inches would make tactical sense. If you're moving around in a sewer and trying to get between tight quarters, well then yeah, a shorter barrel is going to work a little bit better. Shotgun's going to be pretty devastating in that too, though the Benelli M4 Super 90 has a pretty long barrel associated with it. So with that, also the dessert.
Dessert. The finest cutlery.
I believe he had the Microtech Ultratech Combat Trodoon, I believe. Something similar to this, so I have my own little one. This is my bench-made Infidel. Nothing better than a switchblade to have at the handy. Love this thing. You could just sit there for hours and just go like this, just entertain yourself. But this purchase was, although it's not exactly the same knife as John Wick 2, this was inspired by that scene where he's choosing dessert. So Knives are a huge portion of your defense. When people get close to you, you need to be able to have something that's not just a gun, but something that's a little bit more close combat. So the fact that they addressed that in the movie, I really did appreciate. The Kimber 1911 that is given to him via crackhead Morpheus, with 7 rounds for all 7 million that it cost him, was interesting. I mean, 1911s, you're either a huge fan or you're not. So I found that rather interesting. It ran out of ammo really quick, and when he ransacked some of the guns from the bad guys in that scene, I think he was shooting a Glock 17. So they stayed relatively sound in it, but the gunfighting in general and then the world building was really unique. And again, this is my almost 1A. I'm not sure whether to put John Wick 1 or John Wick 2, number 1 or number 2. But in this case, just because of the overall function and focus on nothing but guns, and given this is a top 10 gun video, I think that John Wick 2 is our crowned victor of the number 1 gun movie of all time.